recommend our special. And it's going like hotcakes. It's called nationality.
And you love it, I say.
And you love it.
Never
I say.
heard of this before. I'll check it out anyway. Till a brother from my womb breathed on me one day. He said, research, study, and investigate. Spend 2 hours.
M.D. Lovell. And my guest today is Grand Sheik Lionel Lovell of the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic. And we are discussing Moorish news. This is Moorish news. We're discussing 2 great holidays we have in this month, which is our Moorish Independence Day / Moorish Memorial Day. And also we have a convention coming up in October. We're going to be discussing Moorish Science Temple of America Convention 2017. Yes, we have conventions every year. And some of the things that we do at the convention is we maintain unity. You know, our people come up from the different temples and we keep, things organized. You know, we also we keep our charter valid, the conveying of the grand body. What are some other things we do when some of the members are coming up?
Let us, first of all, I rise giving praise to Allah, the Lord, Governor, cherisher, sustainer, ruler of the worlds. I give hail, high honors to Marcus Moses Garvey, the forerunner, and also to the Prophet Noble Ali, love, thought, made manifest. The convention is basically an organization aspect of our nation where we all come together. First of all, the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politic is domiciled here in Moorish Mecca, aka Chicago, Illinois. And similar to what occurs in the greater Islamic Ummah, where there's a pilgrimage.
At Hajj.
A Hajj, right. So what occurs is every year, all of the Muslims all over the world make a pilgrimage to Hajj. So likewise, similarly, within our tradition as a body politic, the Prophet Noble Ali set it up, whereas all of the Moors that are part of our body politic couldn't make the Hajj here to our Mecca, here in Chicago, Illinois. So this is significant because it also puts us in line with the rest of the greater Islamic Ummah with regards to the fact that our convention, our annual convention, is actually a free national standard. And a free national standard are standards that distinguish other nationals from other nationals. So, for example, when you see a Mexican with the sombrero on, or you see the yarmulke for a Jew, those would signify free national standards, or standards that are set by nations, and that is the way that you would determine who and actually what that nation is and what they entail and how they operate. So, taking the people back through time so that they can understand, you're looking at the picture of the Prophet, you see that he's standing, he's surrounded by a whole bunch of Moors. You look at pictures, you see that the Prophet Noble Ali had so many Moors around him that you could have a parade. Moorish Mecca was basically essentially like you see Little Italy, Chinatown, Little Mexico. The Prophet Noble Ali, within his visionary mind, had set aside a society for us where we could have our culture and we could pretty much present ourselves to the world through that body politic. In fact, there was even a site to break ground for the new temple at 37th and Federal. So you had a host of businesses, Moorish businesses and manufacturing corporations. You had an industry here, basically back during 1928 and 29 for the Moorish Science Temple of America. And many historians have stated that this could be considered as the golden age of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I like to read by the Prophet to evoke the spirit of the angels as well. By the Prophet Noble Ali. This is being read out of our Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guidance of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. I want to talk about, in conjunction with what you were saying, all the Moors that were around. The prophet had quite a few Moors. Meetings were being held, meetings were being made. The prophet also had, we found, after that docket number 1155, 1822, that's been recorded in Cook County Recorder Deeds Office, we also found the prophet had quite a few enemies. So strong that until this appointed time, that charter, trust, AKA abstract title, was in fact buried for nearly 100 years. The industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In latter years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called, this day, Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. We're not confused. We understand this is the present Moroccan Empire.
Islam, correction.
Here and now.
That is the Moorish Empire, and that is in distinction from the present Moroccan Empire. There's a difference. The Moorish Empire is composed of the kingdoms that you just read.
Absolutely.
Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Libya, and the present Moroccan Empire is composed of North, South, and Central America.
Islam. I'm
Islam.
clear. I am very clear, brother, and giving honest to all of these empires, all of this land. You have a reason to celebrate July 20th. I know how hard it's been, and I know how long you've been popping those firecrackers and those snakes and those the little lightning things, you know what I'm saying? That we give our children little sparkles. That's beautiful. But now it's time, Moors. The so-called Negro, Black, African Americans, now it is time for us to understand that we have a 4th of July on July 20th. Now this can be difficult for a person, wouldn't you say, Grand Sheik, that's been sleeping a very long time,
Yes,
and they don't know nothing else
I
but
agree.
red, white, and blue,
Listen,
and they don't know
Islam,
that this is the true
let me
flag
say
of this land.
Islam, let me say this. I believe it's time to clear the air with this. We've had a tradition within the Moorish Science Temple of America where we refer to our unconscious brethren as NBCs. That's wrong. That's something that's out of order.
That's division.
And that's something that creates and
Segregation.
promotes segregation and separation amongst the Moors and the temples. We are no different from our people. The only difference between us and them is that they don't know who they are. That's it.
And you know what? We need to stop, because the prophet has already instructed us. We are not to talk about any organized group, church, no individual. We are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And for the Moors out there that are awoke, just remember, it hasn't been too long, if you can recall, if you're still here. You were once in their shoes, the unconscious. Let's not call ourselves NBCs. The prophet said, do not refer to us. We should not call one another by the words that allude to slavery. If we are disrespectful and we're not treating one another with the respect that we need and we deserve, then we are to be called, as the prophet said, they're dirty Moors.
Dirty Moors.
They're
That's
moles. Anybody could be dirty. Okay, you just got to clean up your act. Now it's time to celebrate, brothers and sisters. We welcome foreign sympathizers as well, because it's time to get yourself together, to get your shine on, to get your ancient look on,
Islam.
to get your apparel on, because
Islam.
we are Egypt. And if you know anything about Egypt, all you have to do is just Google it.
Islam.
And you'll see
I
we're
just
known
wanna,
for fashion.
Islam, I just want to explain to everybody that, yes, we are known for fashion. During the convention, there are days that are set up for us to have a ball, you know, where we dance and we dress in the costume of our ancient forefathers. And this is also done during the prophet's birthright, you know, where the Moors dress up and get costumes. There was once a story where the prophet, there was about to be a parade, and the Moors was scheduled to get some costumes. But anyway, there was another parade that was going on, and somehow, I think it was the Shriners or something like that. They had
got all
used
the
all the
costumes.
costumes.
And we had to make our things.
Yes, correct.
And a lot of the sisters sow. So sisters that sow, this is the time to start right now. We're talking our convention 2017 in October. We have members in Virginia, and Florida, and New York. We have members in California, Ohio, Michigan, and members here in Mecca as well. And more members are coming. Usually during the convention, I came to the temple. When I first came to the temple, was one of the most exciting times of my life because it was during a convention time, which means I got to meet Moors from different states. Now here's how the prophet set it up to be. This is Mecca. This is where our document is domiciled, 1010-5905. This document is done with domicile right here in Chicago, Illinois.
And it's clear proof. You can see that it was done in October, not in September. Let us make that distinction as well, because you have some groups that celebrate the convention, the annual convention.
I was going to get to that, Grand Sheik. That is so true. That is so true.
And this is referenced in document 1155,
1822.
And we have pictorial proof that our convention is from October 15th to the 20th annually, each and every year. Islam?
Islam. What I would like to say is it was the Prophet's, the Prophet brought us unity. The Prophet brought us love. The Prophet taught us that we have two selves, a higher self and a lower self. Now, being that Mecca is where our document was filed, the deeds to that vast estate, our vast estate Moors, and it's not just for the Moors here in North America. This document is for all of North America, South Central America.
Islam.
It's for the world so that we could put things back
when
into
the prophet
perspective,
said, and
to
when you go,
uplift fallen humanity.
when you go into chapter 47, verse 12, and the prophet speaks about being the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America, you have to understand that when he stated that, he was speaking in present tense or future tense. So that means that he was speaking towards an event that was to occur in the future. How would the prophet be the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America? This is an entity that he had already created. So he's speaking about that in these times that we're here and now. And just so everybody be understanding clear, Prophet Noble Ali did that through the setting up of our body politic.
Okay, now listen at this. I want to share this with the audience. In latter years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit Northwest Africa. Now today, you go and you file a home, you get a home, you purchase a home, you pay for it with your signature, or you make payments, however they have you set up to do it. Back in the day, the pharaohs gave permission. They was holding down, okay?
Truth don't change or pass away.
And the truth do not change or pass away. And I've heard many say, well, wait a minute, no, you gotta get, you gotta go to the bank, and then you gotta, you gotta get a,
Islam.
You
when
have
did the
to
banks,
go
Islam,
according to protocol. We understand banks are not allowed to
we didn't say
own
that they
property.
weren't allowed. We said, we're asking a question. When did they receive permission?
When did the bank, my point
Well,
exactly.
anybody of that's claiming to have title to any real estate over here.
Okay.
When did these people receive permission
And
to
better
hold
yet,
title to
who-
any real estate?
Who gave them permission?
And who gave them that authority?
When did you
Who had
receive
to-
permission, and who gave you permission to own the land? Because at the end of the day, this, according to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family.
But Islam,
See,
Sheikhs,
so we're talking nationality.
Islam, Sheikhs. So, but for the clarification, let me go ahead and play the advocate of the Lord's self. Devil's advocate, they call that. The part of the reason why you see the situation as it is with our body politic being hidden the way it was. What was the point that I was making?
The land. When was the land? When would they give permission for the land? Who gave permission? And as far as the banks,
Right.
okay?
The banks never received permission to transfer any land over. There's a certain chain of title. See, what they've been doing, they've been operating under the doctrine of discovery or manifest destiny. You understand? There's recorded, when they go into trace the title, when you go and they trace the titles to the land and they go back,
Is
they'll
chiefs
find
in
out.
the land go back?
Well, you will find that many of the property owners or the people that were holding title to land was tricked out of their land.
Right.
They were ran
Absolutely.
off, and it was through threat, duress, and coercion.
Absolutely.
And that's not how you receive title to land. You see, that's not how it works.
So more importantly, how do we get back to the body politic receiving its due? Because as you know, Chicago, Illinois, the county of Cook, these are all
Well, this
body
is why
politics.
this is why the prophet set up a body politic for us. This is how we're able to go into court and help people to save their properties. This is how we're able to use the body politic to protect the assets of the people, whether it's immovable property or movable property. Because if you think about it, the land still is entitled by those who are, by us.
Absolutely.
Those Moabites,
because
those,
the truth don't change, it'll never pass away.
exactly.
So we're still holding that
the
abstract
land,
title.
The land is still held in
to
trust,
the land.
and it's still held by the indigenous people. However, the issue becomes the improvements on the land, which would be the buildings, the houses, the skyscrapers, the commercial buildings, and all of those things, which becomes ours through, how can I explain it? It's through the accessing the prescriptive right
rights
of accession.
of accession.
So that means that anything that's attached to the land
belongs to us
belongs to us as well, because it's an improvement on the land. The improvement had to come from the land itself. So
So with your real estate background, that had to help you quite a bit in
Islam.
understanding this. Is that correct?
Islam, exactly. So even if you did deal that house and you own the house, you claim to own the house, you still have to have rights from the person who owns the land.
Because the
itself.
landlord and the
Because
property
you can have
owner,
the right.
two
You have the
different
landlord
things.
and property owner. Exactly, that is
Okay.
correct. The landlord is actually the person that has title to the land. The property owner is the one that claims ownership to the improvement on the land, which is the house, the skyscraper, the building. So we have to be clear. Real estate is different from the improvements thereon. The real estate is the land, the real
Okay.
estate.
Okay.
The property or the improvements is that which is attached to the real estate.
Okay. Thank you so much for making that clear, because I'm sure a lot of people didn't get that. You understand? They didn't get that. I want to go over a few of the things that this administration have been involved in to date. The Moorish Law and Research. This administration is currently in court before those that know the law in order to receive a favorable reply with regards to the legacy bestowed upon us by Allah through his divine prophet and our birthright. 2, Moorish News. This is Moorish News right here. Giving the people the information, this administration is currently engaged in various forms of media, including CAN TV, YouTube, Facebook, to counter the annual avalanche of lies, which is why this show was important to let the viewers and listeners understand that our convention is being held in October and not September, okay?
Islam.
Also, 3, Moorish Finance. This administration is currently working to bring various forms of funding to our body politic through trade and commerce with the nations of the world to sustain our national economy. 4, Moorish Real Estate. This administration is currently working to acquire land for burial ground and camping ground, schools, farmland, hospitals, SROs, and other real estate developments necessary for the expansion of our society. 5, Moorish Missionary Movement. This administration is currently blazing a trail for more innovation outreach strategies to engage the public and to market the Moorish Science Temple of America in a more favorable light. Working our prison ministry as well gives hope to our members within the dismal crypts, Islam. Giving commission to the individual members to propagate the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great prophet Ali here in America. 7, Moorish Entertainment. This administration is currently providing a platform for our members to showcase their special talents throughout the world.
Islam.
8, Moorish Business. This administration is currently set up to assist members in the creation of business necessary to sustain a body politic and to interact with the greater world of commerce. So we are looking for Moors that are strong, men and women, looking to expand their talents. We need Moors all the way across the board that are skillful. Moorish Law Services. This administration is currently making available law service to members equal to that of any typical law firm, but not beholden to the bar, which means the Grand Sheik is capable of filing any document you will need with my assistance. We're not with the bar, but we understand law. And since law governs all events, you're in good hands. I also like to say I want to thank you all for taking the time out to tune in with us, because you could be listening to anybody anywhere, but you decide to listen to us. Yes, it is a time to celebrate like never before in the history of your time. Yes, you need to do your research, study, and investigation so you can understand why you are playing rich. Yes, don't believe what you hear from anyone, because you don't know until you first be what you know. And in order to be what you know, you got to do some research. That's a job all by itself. I mentioned to you, you have to study as well. That is a job. And you have to do your investigation. I mentioned to you that I was going to finish that story of going downtown in the body of a baby with a baby heart to find the truth, because I needed to know for myself. And it was my time to shine that light and to receive the light, because in order to receive the light, you must first, in order to be the light, you must first receive the light. And in receiving the light, seeing with my own naked eyes, this document, 1010-5905, which lives on the back of our Korean question for Moorish Americans, in seeing the light, I found a new way of living, thinking, dreaming. I found nation pride.
The reveal of the light, Sheikas.
I had to reveal
One of the mothers, because that's the lesson of being a reveal of the light.
Yes,
Some
I
are
did
concealers, though.
Yes, some are concealers of the light. Yeah, because I was told. You got to be aware of the leaders that you are following, because I was told by someone that I called my leader not to go and visit my other Moorish kindred.
Right.
And I found that very, upsetting to my soul, because I love my people naturally with a love that would never die.
Islam.
And I want you all to know that celebrate July 20th, Moorish Memorial Day, and our Independence Day, because that's the day that the Prophet, Brother Prophet Noble Ali, received this document that gave us so much power, so much money, so much of everything we need to put this world back in the place it should be. So in saying that, I like to say, if you don't do nothing else, please proclaim your nationality.
Islam.
Nationality is the order of the day. Grand Sheik, we're about to wrap this up. You got a minute or so to say whatever it is you want to say to the audience and let them know, this, convention and Memorial Day coming up.
All praise due to Allah. I would like to thank the listening audience for indulging us. If you are a